What gives you confidence that there's more out there for this Gator team next season?
I mean, I think it's everybody. I mean, even fans, coaches, players. I mean, we all know what we want, and we want to win. And I mean, I'm confident in Coach Napier's his system in the offseason program, and I'm looking forward to. It's kind of different for me coming back another year with experience in the offense, because this time last year I was learning the offense, so I was kind of relying on just getting with the guys and throwing a little bit, not really understanding the full play, but understanding the route. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to really diving in this offseason and having that experience under my belt in the offense, and just leading the guys and getting a little bit better every day. And I think we're across the board. We know that we let some stuff get away from us this year, and we might have shot ourselves in the foot a little bit. So, I mean, we went back and watched the tape, and there was always a few plays every game that altered it. And I think the big thing is we know we can control it, and that goes throughout the entire offseason. And that's where we need everybody to buy into our process, and we need to grow together. And I think across the board, the guys have that mindset where we don't want to have that feeling in the locker room after a close loss. I mean, we don't like that feeling. And I talked to the guys this last week when we had a team meeting. I'm like, guys, that feeling should push you every day in the off season when you're in a workout that's hard or something's not going the way you want. I mean, that you gotta be able to channel that feeling and have that pull you through the hard days. And I mean, I think across the board, the guys don't like that. They don't like that feeling, and that's the biggest driving force, that the guys just want to win. And this team's hungry. We're young. They had that experience, and they don't want to experience that again.
You mentioned Coach Napier there. If there is part of this that you can share, was there a message from him? You know, what was his reception of your decision to come back?
Yeah, I mean, I met with him multiple times. I mean, there was probably not during the Florida State week. I mean, obviously, I wasn't playing, so that was kind of on my mind. But I wanted to wait till after that week to sit down and talk with him. But we talked multiple times about all the options, which was the NFL was coming back, and I mean, it was great, and he was a sounding board for me. I was able to really talk through all these different points that I wanted to get through, and I mean, I think the biggest thing is that I put it in my post, and he's not gonna go out there and say unfinished business, but I'm confident doing it because I feel that way, and I know that across the organization that's the feeling, and there's so much more left on the table that not only the players and staff and everybody in that building wants, but Gator Nation wants as well. So we're gonna work like crazy this year to ensure that.
What is the next step for you, this Gator offense? What steps do you want to take? What steps do you want to see this offense take?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of stuff. I think across the board, I mean, we all know that we need to take a step, like you just said. And for a lot of different people, it's a lot of different things. But I know on my end, it's being able to be better in any sense I can for the guys around me. And I think that, like I said earlier, this offseason is going to be huge, being able to be immersed in the offense, understanding how a whole season played out and how different things work off of each other. I think being able to bring that to the table and from day one, as soon as we get back in the winter and we start working out, being able to speak the language of the offense and really push these guys to get better and learn it quicker. So, I mean, I think that we're looking forward to just getting back to work. And I mean, that's the main focus of everybody on this team right now.
Okay, but if it is right, I guess one angle of the offense that I think is probably brought up the most is maybe the downfield passing aspect. So what did you see this season from that? Were there more opportunities? Is that a place to get better as maybe one of those next steps in this offense?
Yeah, I think so. And I think there's a lot of different aspects that lead to that. And I think that, like, I always think back to what I can do better in that sense. And I think across the board, it's on my end, it's being better in protection, getting us in the right call, picking up blitzes, and then obviously just taking my one-on-one matchups, giving them their best shot to make a play and getting it in their radius. So, I mean, that's definitely an area of focus and definitely an area that we're gonna work this offseason on.
Hey, one player I think you'll be throwing the ball to a lot next year, and really came on true freshman wide receiver Trey Wilson. Yeah, as this season went on, we saw the increase of usage, especially this first drive of games. How fast did you know he was going to be that guy?
So I actually just talked about this. This is funny. So he came in the summer. So he came in. He wasn't like a mid-year guy, and everybody. I kept getting like little subtle hints, like, "Oh yeah, just wait till you see that guy in pads." And I was like, "Okay, like I'll see." And then because he was banged up a little bit, I think he had like a hamstring week or something, so he wasn't really doing workouts. And then we get into camp, and I think for the first day he might have been. I don't know what he was doing. He might have been out the first day or two. And then he came back, and I threw him like an out route or something. And so he caught the pass and I think he stuck his right foot in the ground and just spun around, housed it. the first ball I threw to him. And I remember just looking back at coach and being like, "Oh, you weren't lying about that guy." and he thought that was funny. So, I mean, I knew after that, I was like, all right, we got to get this guy the rock. And, but yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I saw was throughout the year, just his growth of understanding the offense, understanding his role in it, and how to really just maximize his touches. And that was one thing that, I mean, I think back to just the ball, the two balls I threw to him in the first drive of Georgia. I mean, just playing fast, playing free, trusting his skill. And I think that's one thing for him that, if he just trusts his skill and plays fast, I mean, he's pretty freaking good. So I'm looking forward to another year of growing together and growing that chemistry of just knowing where he's going to be at and feeling that out and just growing in the offense together. So that would definitely be fun with Trey.
Yeah, man, that first ball you threw to him for the first touchdown against Arkansas.
Oh yeah, that was.
I don't know if I'm lying or not, but to me, that might have been your best throw. I mean,
I'll take that. I was fired up.
The placement, the zip. I mean, where it had to be. I mean, I was up in the press box. Like, oh wow, there we go.
that was a fun one. And the funny thing was, like, I hadn't thrown that ball to Trey the whole week, and we repped a bunch. I think that ball I was throwing to Ricky like the whole week. We were like, all right, this could be. It's either going to go to, and they switched spots on that one, and I was like, oh, okay. And Trey, it was a savvy play by Trey, actually. So if you go back and watch it, I think it was like the flat defender, the safety was outside of him. He had like a little out and up. So he ran the out and then just kind of gave him a little shake and just took it with speed up vertical because he was outside of him. And I was like, I've never seen a freshman think on the fly like that. Oh. So it was actually like, I felt like I was throwing to like a 6-year senior receiver that just felt it out and then but he just, it was a savvy play by him. And that just goes to show that when he plays fast, it's hard to cover that dude. Like I wouldn't try to cover him.